Hello. So I forgot to bring the tripod again. I have this on my backpack for now. I don't know how long this will last, but we'll see. Okay, so just want to make a short video today about why it should take long to establish your personal style. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And this is in two aspects, so I'll just talk about it in two aspects. The first aspect is the financial aspect, and the second aspect is temporal aspect, which is like a time. So I guess, actually talking time. So yeah. Anyway, so the first aspect, financial aspect, this should be pretty obvious. But if you are getting into fashion, you should know, or like in menswear in general, you should know that it is an expensive hobby and it will take a lot of money as you grow your interests and kind of your own preferences and whatnot. And you will also come to realize as you delve into the hobby more and more that it will take a lot of money to purchase high quality garments. So for instance, you can start out by going to eBay or like vintage stores and purchasing those $10 garments, $20 garments, $30 garments. I started out like that, and I will make another video about this maybe about my own personal journey in terms of menswear. But that cannot I it is my personal opinion that you can't look as good as those people on Instagram just by purchasing vintage stuff all the time, because you will hit a roadblock where you have these kind of preferences and then you will not be able to find those kind of stuff in the vintage store, because the vintage store will carry stuff that's from like 10 or 20 years ago, so they might be out of trend, or they might just not carry your size and whatnot. So there will be constraints for sure. So if you aren't looking into like this kind of perfect kind of set of preferences, then it might be okay. But in the end, I think you will have to get out of the face. So what that means is that you will have to actually go and buy stuff new. So that's where I kind of realized that it's just not going to cut it with just buying $10, $20 stuff all the time. I personally don't think so. And that means, yeah, if you are purchasing high quality garments or the stuff that you are interested in, for instance, like pleated trousers, pleated chinos, they're going to run you at least like $200, $300. And you can't buy them all the time unless you are rich and you have like a lot of money. Then that's another story. But given that you have financial constraints, like probably 99.9% of us do, then you aren't going to be able to do that. So that's the first thing, the financial constraint. It's just cold hard truths that you should know, because you will not be able to buy everything that you want to buy right away. That's just my personal predicament too. And not necessarily a predicament, but just something that you need to think about in life in general, because you can't get everything you want right away. So but I feel like a lot of people have this kind of flawed mindset that, oh, if I have a lot of money and like I go out and buy all these stuff right away, then I can just look like a fashionista right away. But that's not necessarily true. And I would like to transition into the more important part of this video, which is the temporal aspect, like the time aspect. So, given that you have financial constraints, it will take the reason why developing your style will take time. A minor reason is the financial constraint. Actually, okay, I don't want to say minor reason, but like I think it is less significant than the second reason that I'm about to say, because of the fact that even if you have a lot of money, theoretically, it will still take a lot of time to build your style. So let me transition into the second point. Why will it take a lot of time to build your style? Even though it's like theoretically, let's say you have a lot of money and you can just pour your money into fashion. Even then, you will have to spend a lot of time thinking about your preferences and what kinds of style you want to go for, what kinds of garments you are interested in, what kind of fabric you're interested in, what kind of pattern you're interested in, what kind of color you're interested in, what kind of tie maybe you're interested in, what kind of brands resonate with you, what kind of brands don't resonate with you. All these kind of stuff can't come like a snap in one day, because you just have to experiment with the garments. That means you have to buy them and you have to try them on and you have to see how it goes. And most of the time it will take at least half a month or like a full month at the very least to figure that out. Like it is very rare where I wear something and then realize that I like that right away, because I have to see myself in the mirror, and like I have to see what kinds of garments in my wardrobe that already exist can go with this garment that I'm purchasing, and what kinds of style that I want to go for, or even the comfort, the fit, all those kind of stuff can't come right away. And sometimes it takes as long as 3 months or 4 months, even a year maybe. I mean, I actually haven't even delved into this hobby for a full year, so I can't even say a year, but it might actually take a year. So that's the thing. Those things only come after you experiment with different stuff, experiment with the garment and how you want to incorporate this garment into your style and your wardrobe. And that cannot come in one day, like a snap notice. And another thing is that how much you're comfortable with the garment, because that's another aspect that not many people talk about. For instance, if you think you can be comfortable, fully comfortable, wearing like a double-breasted suit on the street, then you are wrong, because you will not feel comfortable right away. Because of the fact that, first of all, not many people wear a double-breasted suit these days, and second, it's just a fashion statement in general, the double-breasted suit. And third, you have to make gradual climb from like a single-breasted suit, or just like a blazer, starting from a blazer, or just like an overshirt, I don't know, something like that. And then you have to kind of build up the comfort from there. You can't just go from like rock bottom to the Mount Everest, for instance. I mean, I'm not saying that double-breasted suit is a pinnacle of this of style, but that's just an analogy that I'm trying to make right now. So you wouldn't do that in climbing or hiking in general. You have to practice with the lower mountains, and you have to practice climbing them and making sure that you got them first, and then you move up to the next level. Something like that also exists in sartorialism, or just style in general, menswear in general. I might make another video about this, but honestly, I don't think I have enough experience to myself to talk about like the sartorial ladder, or just that kind of a ladder in general. But I don't know, maybe I'll talk about it in terms of my experience. Anyway, so that means that you can't just go out and let's take a look at what this Instagram model is doing, for instance, and then let's just buy everything that the guy is wearing, and then just that'll look perfect on me. That's not true. That's definitely not true, because of the fact that you probably aren't going to be comfortable with that fit, and second, you just don't know what kind of style you are interested in, and you just don't know what kind of style you might go well with. Like it also has to do with your lifestyle, your financial budget, your like body fit, and your personality and all that. I mean, they don't necessarily play like a major role, but still they can play a role, and all these kind of intricacies can play a role to some extent in developing your style, which means that everything has to come gradually. And some people might find their style relatively earlier, or like quicker than others. I actually, for myself, I think I found my style pretty relatively quickly, or my inclination relatively quickly. I was always intrigued by the idea of preppy look, even when I wasn't necessarily interested in fashion. So I think that was my starting point. And I just looked up a lot of different preppy looks and preppy vibe or whatever online. And I just took some inspos here and there, and then just incorporated them into my wardrobe gradually. And of course, at first it didn't work out well, because I didn't know what I was doing. And then from there, I just kind of did some experiments and trial and error process, just kind of tweaked here and there. And then I'm still, of course, in the process of tweaking here and there as well. But that's how it should be. And that you just want to take everything slow and not try to rush the process, because when you try to rush the process, then you're going to skip over some details that you might have actually considered significantly, or any kind of detail that you end up incorporating in your wardrobe. And that's basically just what I wanted to say, because I feel like there's this flawed mindset. I actually used to have this flawed mindset too, where I thought like, if I have like infinite amount of money, then I can look good in one day, because I can buy everything I want to and then just incorporate them right away. That's not necessarily true. I know it's not true, because I've experienced it myself. And even these days, I am kind of vacillating between some styles here and there, like just kind of going back and forth based on my preference and based on my experience. And those kind of stuff can't come in one day. It would be insane to ask a hiker to hike Mount Everest right after hiking like I don't know what's a good example of a low mountain, like Central Park, I don't know. It would be insane. So to say that you can look as good as those menswear icon or whatever, in one day, given that you have theoretically you have infinite amount of money, would be insane as well. So that's the point that I wanted to make. And yeah, this also, I feel like a lot of the things that I talk about also applies to myself, of course, because sometimes I try to rush the process and it just doesn't work out well because I don't know why. I don't know why I'm in a rush. I sometimes just feel like, if you don't decide on something early, okay, well, this is a realistic concern actually. That item might go out of stock, so you need to make split decisions pretty quickly. So that's another story. But in general, in terms of developing your style and developing your wardrobe, I don't think it should be rushed because all those experiences and the thought process that you go through will help you a lot in the end. And that can only come when you are thinking through very hard about it. Not very hard, but like, you know what I'm saying. You do need to think about it just a little bit even, because that's the beauty of fashion and style. I can at least tell if someone put at least a little bit of thought into their outfit when they're walking down the street, and you'd be surprised. Probably 99 out of 100 people that I see on the street, they probably just put whatever they see on the wardrobe and just like came out without even thinking about it. So the moment you start thinking about it a little bit more, you are already ahead of the curve, in my opinion. So that's just what I want to say. Yeah, before this video gets too long, I'll just cut it short here. And yeah, I already have 3 more video ideas that came off of this video, so that's a good thing. I'll try to make another video next week. Yeah, that's about it for now. Okay. Wait. Oh, I just wanted to show off my new ring. But peace out.